Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I go for refuge in the Buddha. I go for refuge in the Dharma. I go for refuge in the Sangha. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. So, we'll begin tonight with our customary 15 minutes of seated meditation. How do you end 500 rebirths as a fox? We chant the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. Hello. Now, you'll have to excuse me 1 second here. Okay. The phone that's putting the logo up wasn't muted, so I had this little dub reggae kind of thing going on where I would hear myself coming back, and it was a little distracting. Here's something to ponder. What would a series of notes without rests between them sound like? What would the written word look like if there were no spaces between them? Would there be any use for the concept of bright if we didn't have dark? What's the inhale without the exhale? Each of them relies on their counterpart, not in opposition to their counterpart. They aren't opposites. They're inextricably part of each other. I would qualify that with saying that I know a composer named Phil Nibluck who writes musical scores that literally have no spaces between the notes. It's just one long tied whole note. And he writes these pieces because he wanted to duplicate the sound of a motorcycle going past. Nagarjuna, or Nagarjuna if you prefer, his teachings of the middle way challenge the notion that we typically have of cause and effect as two independent things. A quote from him is, "Neither from itself nor from another, nor from both, nor without cause, does anything whatever, anywhere, arise." So the middle path between light and dark isn't gray. It's light and dark. It's the inclusion of both, not the sort of moderation of both. The middle path isn't between them. The middle path encompasses both of them. It's a dialectic, not dualistic. It's all and, not or. The reason for this is because light and dark and note and rest and blank space and letters are all conceptual. They're all characterized by emptiness. We, in a lot of times, take cause and effect on the one hand to be very obvious, and on the other hand, miss the point altogether. You might think that if you drink a gallon of vodka, odds are you're going to wake up with a hangover. Fair enough. The cause and the effect are intertwined. It's not just cause, effect. Vodka and car crash have no independent selfness to them. There's no thingness to them. They're intertwined, they're interdependent. That particular car crash would not have happened without that particular gallon of vodka. Otherwise, it's entirely different. Sort of a Hawaiian approach to it, that when one thing in the universe changes, everything else changes. And with Nagarjuna, he's not saying that there's any sort of predestination involved in any of these things. Neither from itself nor from another, not from both nor without cause, does anything anywhere ever arise. It's the 21st century here in America. And there seems to be a fair amount of divisiveness. It seems to be going on worldwide, in fact. If we didn't have one point of view, we wouldn't need to have the other point of view, or at least name it something. Just like if it's always because it's just how things are, right? So this is that same sort of thing. It's not an or, it's an and. There are these, there are those. They're interdependent with each other. They're intertwined with each other. They create the whole. They create the whole. There is a whole, empty as it may be, that is entirely dependent upon these other empty elements. I'm sure at some point or another, Robert either has or will give a talk on the 12 Nidanas, the links of dependent origination. And if he hasn't, he has his assignment for next time, but I think he has. Go ahead. You can chime in if you like. Or not.
Sure. I will duly review that potential.
And you can also pull out the soprano sax and give us an idea of what, all those notes without any rests in between them would actually sound like.
That's what I thought of when you said that. I said, that reminds me of my playing.
I had you in mind when I came up with the idea. So, in our situation here, how does the bodhisattva fit into all of it? How do we, as Zen practitioners, go about negotiating all of this seeming contradiction and these things crashing into each other that we really don't like? We don't like the crashing. We don't like the point of view that isn't the same as ours. How do we negotiate this? We see things like the existence of greed. Now, the bodhisattva wouldn't be greedy when running a business, hoarding all the profits and leaving some others penniless. That's not the middle path, although the middle path, as per Nagarjuna, includes both ends of that. Doesn't justify them, just says that they're part of that entirety. As bodhisattvas, we can do something that's going to improve the lot of all, right? That can be part of our saving all sentient beings. If you're familiar with the realm of the Deva, Deva, that's basically one of the realms that you can be reborn into. And the Deva, to my mind, is the rich guy who doesn't realize his wealth. He just takes it for granted, and he doesn't even notice that there are others that don't like that. He's totally clueless, totally tone deaf, just oblivious. On the other end of things, you've got the hungry ghost, which is another realm of potential rebirth. And the hungry ghost is characterized by craving and never being able to be satisfied, there never being enough. And sometimes the desperation of the hungry ghost can result in some, well, obviously desperate moves. Sometimes their desperation might lead to a revolution. And the Deva, of course, wouldn't realize that revolutions aren't put down by creating more revolutionaries. How do we as bodhisattvas intersect with these different things? When this becomes, that becomes. Hungry ghost, Deva, revolutionary, rich guy. All are interdependent with each other. You might think of them as points of comparison, but it's, like I said, more of a dialectic. It's an and rather than an or. So here's hoping that the number of inhales and exhales are even. Here's hoping that what we think of as a gray area, we realize is actually inclusive of both black and white. Here's hoping that when we see socioeconomic disparities, we realize that the one is only in reference to the other. But as bodhisattvas, even though we see that, we recognize that, and accept that that's how things are, we don't necessarily have to settle for them being that way. There's no predestination. We're not tied to a cause and an effect. Neither from itself, nor from another, nor from both, nor without cause does anything, whatever, anywhere arise. So we will go back and have another 15 minutes of seated meditation. So let's chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the prajna paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The bodhisattva depends on prajna paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on prajna paramita and attain anuttara samyak sambodhi. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the prajna paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says gate gate para gate parasam gate bodhisvaha gate gate para gate parasam gate bodhisvaha gate gate para gate parasam gate bodhisvaha. And let's do our personal dedications of merit. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone, those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain. May they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Nayanthan Sin Isuk, Mike Gingy Wood, Iris McDonald, Richard Colmar, John Bex, Thomas Bishop, and Brad Hunter. Would anyone care to add anyone into there?
Melanie and Emily.
Any others?
The Spencer and Allen families.
All beings in the 10 directions subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna Paramita. And we will recite our faith and practice vow. I will never retreat and will stay firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death and definitely will see my original face. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Hengdal.
Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. Birds and trees and stars and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We practice and recite this for all beings in grateful thanks to our many guides along the way.
And let's recite the 4 great Bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Delusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Opportunities to awaken are infinite. We vow to embrace them all. The Buddha way is endless. We vow to embody it. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature and do not squander your time by night or day.